What's going on, guys? So if you've been following my IG, you already know that we put in a aftermarket steering wheel, but as you can see, my wheels are straight and me not paying attention kind of put the wheel on crooked. So I wasn't really planning on doing an install video, but since that happened, I got to take it all apart to straighten the wheel out, so I might as well show you what's going on. Now, it's not that hard to do. Pretty much first, make sure your wheels are straight, then unhook the battery so that the airbag's not going to do anything funky on you when you start messing with it. As far as the tools you'll need, you're gonna need a 14, either a deep or shallow for the bolt that holds the steering wheel in. Impact's optional, but then that's gonna be hard as shit to break, so I'd say get an impact. You're gonna need a Phillips to take apart the trim so you can swap it over to the new wheel, and you're gonna need a T30 to get the airbag out. You've got a bolt on, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bolt hole here, and then where is it? Come on, let's finger bang for it. There is a bolt hole here. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory when you start taking this all apart. With this wheel back. But yeah, this is the wheel I bought off eBay. It kind of looks like the Buddy Club. It's not branded Buddy Club, but the design's pretty much the same concept. The grips are a little bit different than the Buddy Club. I think the grips are a little bit more narrow. This one's got a more aggressive, like, there's impressions in it for you to hold your thumb here. On the back side, when I take the wheel off, I'll show you too. So you can grip it here really good. You can drop your thumb here, and there's finger grooves on the back for you to grip to on either side. And then it's flat at the bottom like the Buddy Club. Just no branding. It's hydro dipped carbon, and before everybody's like, oh my god, well, you know, if you get the Buddy Club, it's real carbon fiber. No, it's not. It's still fake ass carbon fiber like this, but you're paying pretty much $100 more for Buddy Club branding. And then you use your OEM airbag, you use your OEM controls, you swap those over to this. So yeah, let's start taking this thing apart. So I've had the battery unhooked for probably like 10 minutes now. If anything, turn your headlights on too, just to like drain any kind of current that's in the system out. And yeah. But on a side note, before we start any of this video is just for informational purposes only. I am not a professional, so take what I'm showing you as just, you know, how I did things, not the real way, not the technical way. And this is just for entertainment and informational purposes only. But let's get this thing apart. So where we're gonna start is on these sides, and you really can't see it. It's a fucking struggle bus, but there's a hole here and there's a hole on the opposite side. You're gonna take your T30 and take those bolts out. So let me do that real quick. All right, so here are the two T30 Torx I was talking about. Take those out on this side and this side, and you'll notice the airbag just kind of pops out. And you've got the horn, which is that green wire all the way in the back, right here, and the airbag wire. Now what you want to do is, you're going to go from underneath. Right in the center, you're going to feel a panel that you can pop out. Pop that out real quick. You can literally pop it out with your finger. Kind of lift this up, out the way. Now this and the horn wire, these black tabs, they're just literally holders. So all you got to do is, I don't know how well we can do this. Let me see. Get my hand in here. You'll feel the tabs. Just kind of wiggle them out. And then, I don't know how well you can see this. That one right there is the horn wire. It's going to be a long metal spade. Sorry about that. Alright, it's going to be a long metal spade. Once you get it out of there, there's a little tab you push in and unhook it. And I'll show you a better view of it when I get this out. Now the airbag, you just take your finger, kind of push that down, and you can get that out the way. Then you'll go from underneath, shimmy it out. And there is a black tab on it, which I'll show you a better view of too when I get it unhooked. But pretty much you just take the black tab and pull it towards the harness. Then just kind of shimmy the wire out. There's the horn wire. And let's get this out. Okay. So this is the long tab I'm talking about. It goes into a black harness. You'll feel it on the clip. There's a little indentation that you just push and this releases. And then this one, set that off to the side. Right here. This black tab pushes up. See how I'm pushing up with it? Once you push it up, it releases. Then what you're gonna have left is this 14 right here in the middle. Take your handy dandy impact. Take that off. Now, this is just personal preference for me doing it since I've done a couple steering wheels. I'll put a couple threads in, it's loose, and then give the steering wheel a good smack. Your first time taking it off, it's gonna fight you, so you're gonna have to get a little aggressive with these hits. But take that off, the steering wheel's loose. Now you've got the main harness going into the clock spring right here. So what you want to do is unplug that, like so. And then the whole thing comes off. Now watch it with the clock spring. You don't want to spin this around. Try and keep it as steady as possible, because if you mess that up, you're gonna ruin your day. And as far as dismantling this to swap over, you're pretty much gonna take it apart with a Phillips. Phillips here, here, this ground, this Phillips here. Then we have a Phillips here, here, one here, and one here. You take that all apart, which I'm gonna have to do anyways because I wasn't paying attention and put this horn wire behind here when it should be hanging out here. So let me take this apart real quick and then I'll show you how it looks. Okay, I'll screw screws are out of the front and the back. What you're going to want to do is kind of grab it here, pull up a little bit, grab it here, pull up a little bit. This entire unit lifts out. It might get hung up here on these little white clips, but just kind of lift them up and the whole thing will pull out. Since I wrapped that wire around, you're gonna have to get this back cover piece off, but it's pretty much the same thing. It just lifts up and pulls off once all the screws are out of the way. And then yeah, pretty much pick this up. One other random tab holding it. This is kind of annoying to do with one hand. There it is. So you release that. And here's your trim, all in one piece. Fine and dandy. Now at this point, if you had your OEM wheel, you'd take it off, put the new one, just drop it in your lap, then you'll take this again and just lay it back into place. Now with this horn wire, it's supposed to be sitting like that. For whatever reason, I don't know what I was thinking yesterday, but I tucked it in underneath. So just lay the trim back into place like so. And the thing I like about this wheel is actually everything fits the way it's supposed to. So that fits in there all fine and dandy like. So you just drop that into place and then you'll take your good back trim and that pretty much just flops back into place too. Like, you really can't mess it up because the back here, it's got these guide pins that go into these holes. So, unless you're like a bull in a china cabinet, you really should be able to put this back without breaking anything. But then again, I'm talking and doing this one-handed, and it's not really trying to agree with me. Let me see here. Okay, that pull in. That pull in. There we go. Alright. Now we're cooking. Alright, so that's in. Then while we're at it, we're just gonna put screws back in to hold the trim in place. Like so. That one there. There we go. And then we'll put that one there. I know, right? Exciting. Good. That one. It would stay on the screwdriver. That one that goes right in there. That one that's gonna go right in this hole. And that's it for the back screws. But what I was talking about, these finger grooves, see right here you got indentations for the back of your finger to grab onto. Then you've also got this groove here if you're holding in the center to grab onto. along with those finger indentations. So I mean, it's not a bad wheel, you know? I like it. Got your groove, your thumb indexes there and there. Now as far as this front, just make sure everything is sitting in here the way it's supposed to. I already put the one ground screw back in. We're going to put the other 3 back in now. Now when you're tightening these screws down, you don't have to go crazy with it. Like, it's just plastic. No need to like torque it down like a wheel. Just get it snug. And as you can see, for everybody that was asking me on Instagram, it's a swap. It's a direct swap. So like your cruise, your volume, if you've got the phone option, all those buttons, everything just switches over. Now at this point, we are ready to put the wheel back on. So make sure your clock springs straight. And then just center your wheel on. But before we do all that, if you notice right here, I don't know how well it's going to show up, but there's an arrow saying top. So just kind of get it like that. Also, that nub correlates with this right here. So there's really no way you can mess this up. I mean, well, no, let me take that back. You can mess it up. And then let's do this. Find the groove. Oh, that's not right. Feel like that is the same as it was before. So we'll go like that. Then we'll plug that harness back in. And let's get the airbag and everything connected again. Oh yeah. Might want to put this bolt back too. So thread that in a little bit. I don't know torque specs, and I don't think I've ever really torqued one back on the right way, so yeah. Oops. Smooth. Thread that in a little bit. Actually make sure your fucking gun's going the right way. Yeah, that's how I torque things. Chuggas. Now, we'll hook these 2 connectors back up. Starting with the airbag. You want to drop it. You're going to drop both wires. Both wires are going to drop through this side to connect in. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera because I suck at life. But let me feed these wires through and get them connected. And this is the part where having that access panel on the bottom of the steering wheel off, so you can kind of reach in there and do your thing. I'll just set that in. Sorry you guys can't see what's going on back here because I don't know how to film that way. But that's the airbag connector plugged back in. Then we're grabbing the horn. That's clipped back in. Now what you want to do is, see how I can get this to show easy. Alright. So down here, if I can get the airbag to not move. Those are both connectors plugged back in, but what you want to do is, well, airbag and horn, but what you want to do is get this and slide that up. See how it locks into place. It's not anything serious, it's just a holder. And then we'll do the same with the horn wire, which is kind of hard to show because it's a slot that sits underneath that airbag. Like, I don't know exactly how I'd film for that, but you just push that back into place, right? So those two connectors are back in. Let's see if we can give you a better angle of this. Not so much. Oh, there they go. I don't know how well the light is, so this is probably worthless, but yeah, they're back in place. They have holders that they sit in. Then after that, you just have to take your two T30 bolts and put them back in. Back into the holes. If the holes don't line up, just kind of jiggle the airbag a little bit. Because the way the airbag's set up, it's kind of a groove. It's like a C-notch to it, and then the bolt goes in between that. So the bag kind of sits in here loosely until that bolt lines it up. Hold on a second. I can't. Alrighty, and that is the wheel installed. Now we'll just hook up the battery, make sure the horn works, and see what's what. Not everybody is going to have this terminal. I messed mine up, so I got a positive terminal from Kicker off Amazon. I'll throw that link in there if anybody's interested. This negative always acts funny, so you got to make sure it's like all the way down before you start tightening it. Fancy smancy cover back on. Make sure those are out of the way. Alrighty. Let's see. Sorry about that, battery died. But yeah, everything's back together. Horn works. Don't mind my air compressor. But yeah, that's pretty much how you put this wheel in. So, race car shit. I don't know. Whatever. But I like the wheel so far. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Instagram or comment in the comments for this video. Alright?